for the draft panel, it's an alliance draft. Stuns on stuns on stuns. That's their style. They like to play something that we criticized them for a little bit in our opening panel as well. They showed that they doesn't necessarily need a dedicated coach, that they've got their style and they can play it.
Yeah. On every win, there's also a rougher side. Of course, eliminations are happening every day here at the main event of the International. And we also want to give those some attention. So here is Avo with Chris Luck.
Thank you, Shiver. In a special occasion, both Chris Luck and Schofield agreed to do the interview with me, as we're going to do this interview in Spanish. How I'm going to do this for you guys is that I will tell you the question in English, I will repeat it to them in Spanish, they will answer me in Spanish, and then I will translate for you in English. So to start off, we're going to ask him how it felt to be in a high-pressure situation as a best of one. ¿Cómo es estar en una situación, en un mejor de uno, una situación de tanta presión para ustedes?
O sea, no se sintió tanta presión, ¿no? Sino que creo que hicimos que ellos jugaran su juego y nosotros no jugamos nuestro juego. Creo que por eso es que perdimos, porque creo que hubo muchas ideas y las ideas se cruzaron, ¿no? Y es por eso que perdimos.
¿Concuerdas?
Sí, yo creo que eso, sí, prácticamente es eso.
They say that to them it wasn't a high-pressure situation. It was just that they proposed their ideas, the enemy team proposed their own ideas, and they weren't able to execute at the same level, and those ideas just couldn't quite combine, and so one team came out victorious. I'd like to ask them as well how, if this was within their expectations. ¿Os esperabais estar en esta situación?
O sea, no me esperé estar en esta situación, pero ¿qué puedo hacer, no?
Yeah.
Es lo que tengo que asumirlo como, o sea, como cualquier persona que ha perdido y ya, está hecho.
¿Para ti, Schofield?
Sí. O sea, ¿en qué sentido? No entendí.
En el sentido de que cuando estabais llegando a este TI, ¿os sentíais como que estabais fuertes?
Creo que, mira, para mí, ser honesto, es como si nosotros somos un buen equipo. O sea, si fuéramos un equipo, o sea, así, más a jugar así, hablando, o saber, creo que seríamos verdaderamente más mejores o hubiésemos llegado más lejos, ¿no? Pero al no tener tanto eso, creo que la gente no nota, pero hace falta mucho de eso.
Chris says that, yeah, sometimes you just kind of have to accept the situation that you're in. And Schofield says, yeah, we think we're a good team, but sometimes one of the things that we're lacking is communication. And people don't really notice it, but that's something that we're just missing sometimes. So, palabras finales.
Palabras finales, gracias por el apoyo, ¿no? Y esperamos volver a un internacional de nuevo.
Puta, vamos a volver, yo no sé.
Vamos a volver.
Espero volverlos a jugar otra vez este mismo evento con todo y puta, lastimosamente llegamos hasta aquí. Espero que los fans no sean tan haters y apoyen hasta donde hemos llegado.
They're going to come back stronger. They're going to come back stronger. Sí, vamos a volver. They're going to come back stronger. Please don't be haters of your fans. The East Coast is not done yet. It's next year. Their TI will be theirs. Back to you, Shiver.
Thank you very much, Avo. It is impressive that that interview ends with smiles all around. That just goes to show how strong of personalities those are for Beast Coast, and that they will indeed come back stronger. But for now, they are eliminated. They are out, and Alliance move forward. Now, they don't know their opponent just yet, because that comes from the upper bracket. It will be the loser of PSG LTD versus T1. But Alliance continue their road. They have what it takes to potentially make it all the way. Of course, a lot of that is going to depend on what the captain picks for his squad. And of course, when I'm talking about captain, I'm talking about S4. I could mention two other people as well, but it is S4, and he is right now with Jake with the winner's interview.
Thank you so much, Shiver. You know what, Davion? Sorry, we have a new Dragon Knight here today. It is S4. What an incredible match. Man, you gotta be feeling like on Cloud 9 right now, right?
Yeah, I think it feels good, and the team definitely feels really good after the victory. Yeah, everyone seemed happy.
Yeah, it was good to see some smiles coming out of you guys, huh? After that group stage.
No, the group stages were tough, but we learned a lot. And I think we came really well prepared for the match.
Yeah.
And so did they, I think.
So let's talk a little bit about that, what you guys learned and how you prepared, because that was a laning phase like the likes of which I've never seen from you guys.
Well, yeah, basically that was some of our prep. That. Also, we were watching a lot of games earlier today. There was a lot of best of ones before us, and we noticed that there was a lot of nerves in the games before us. Quincy Crew game, it was like you could see the nerves on both teams. So we were kind of discussing, like, guys, let's not have these nerves in the best of one. Let's just go play, have some fun, you know.
Absolutely. And you could tell the lack of those nerves from those Dragon Knight plays. I mean, you were just blinking in. This is a best of one. Everything's on the line. Where does that courage come from, S4?
I mean, to be honest, I'm just playing like normally I would at home. So I would make this plays at home, but what would stop me from doing this plays is the nerves, and I think that's like how you start losing games. And yeah.
Guess that makes a man that wins the international different from somebody else, huh? A person that can get through the nerves. So, okay, I got to ask for the community, I believe you guys are the only team without a coach here, and just want to put it out in the air. What's up with that?
Well, basically they have interviews, right, with coaches after. Yeah, for me, we're kind of working like a pair in the team, me and Hansken.
Oh, cool.
In a way, Hansken is the coach and the player in the team. So he's doing a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't have space for a third one.
Two's enough. Yeah. All right, well, all your hard work really seemed like it paid off, man, and that was an excellent, excellent game. Can't wait to see more from you. Any words out there to the Alliance faithful?
Thank you guys for watching the games, for the guys that are still believing in us after the group stages. Thanks for still being there.
And they'll be there for some time to come. Thank you so much for your time. And we'll be seeing a lot more of Alliance coming up soon. But we got one more best of one ahead of you. Take it away, my friends.
Thank you indeed, Jake. Yeah, one more best of one. I want to still talk about this one for a little bit longer, though, because Alliance, after a rough group stage, we touched upon it right before that actually group stages is when you most need a coach. But from this point onwards, T, you don't need that, especially not if Hansken helps you out like he is doing. They're on fire.
Yeah, I think the main thing for Alliance is they kind of went back to their roots, right? Like when you look at this draft, and I said it as we just went into this kind of panel, it's like it feels like they're back in their DPC style of like looking at Dota, right? They might have like tweaked a couple aspects of maybe how they play the map, but how they're playing the side lanes, S4 getting some early kills, collapsing on mid quite early. Like it's just what carried Alliance through the regionals. So I'm excited that they got to that stage. Unfortunately for them as a team, it took the entire group stage of kind of like creativity to kind of go back to like what they were good at, right? So it's a little bit.
They can mix it though.
Exactly, and I guess if you want to be not too, if you want to be optimistic, the one time that a team did the low bracket run from the first round of low bracket all the way, I believe it was TI9 Liquid, right? So it has been done once before. And it's not too late, because Alliance has, that game was disgustingly good from them in regards to the first, 30 or so minutes. It was only a rare occurrence of a team like Beast Coast who were able to actually fight into that. Like a lot of teams would have bowed down to that style of like every cooldown fight in your face. So I think this is looking good for Alliance if they can continue that game.
Yeah, and we heard S4 talk about it, Gareth. It's all about getting rid of those nerves, and they've got 2 first-timers in their squad, but no nerves on that stage for them.
What a time to find your confidence, right? Finding confidence is so key. And we heard also from Beast Coast, talking about maybe a lack of communication or a slight disconnect. I think there was one key moment in that game where it was the Radiant bottom jungle, where K1 moved forward. He hit the neutral creep camp, life-stealed off it, but he didn't have his team there with him. Whereas Alliance were consistently casting their spells together as a squad, chain-stunning people and finding the kills they needed in fights.
Yeah, this was Beast Coast choosing their opponent's Alliance. Any final words on this best of one then, Lyrical, before we move forward?
I mean, it's definitely disheartening for SA fans out there, but I think that everybody knows that anything can happen in best of ones.
That is absolutely true. Anything can happen. Anything will happen. We've already seen some crazy days here today on the first day of the main stage. And we're not done yet. We have another opponent. It is Evil Geniuses taking on Elephant. And, I was expecting this matchup at some point. Not in a best of one. This is gonna. This is gonna be a crazy one. We're gonna look at Casey.
He's come all the way over here.
Talk to one of the captains of EG.
When everything first shut down in the spring of 2020, many teams were left feeling a bit lost. Evil Geniuses was one of them. Their captain, Fly, admits the news that TI-10 would be delayed was a huge blow to their motivation.
Everything was kind of put on hold until the DPC started. And when the DPC started, we were all like really excited to play because we're finally getting to play all of us together again.
That must have been such a cool feeling. I mean, is it one of those things where you don't realize what you got until it's gone, and then you get it back and you're like, oh yeah, this is way cooler than I remember?
It was like a year since we've played as a full team, so there was a lot of, like, we were very excited to play with each other. Like, it was so much more fun because all of us kind of knew what we're playing for all of a sudden. So we're putting in much more effort. We're enjoying the game a lot more. There's a mountain we're climbing, like we want to get to the peak.
The return of the majors gave them that mountain to climb. The Singapore major in March marked the first time the team played together in the same room for a tournament. A dominating run through the upper bracket took them straight to the grand finals, where EG took a decisive 2-0 lead over Invictus Gaming. The team was playing so well, it looked to everyone watching that Evil Geniuses were headed for a sweep.
The third game was like going great. We were kind of winning that game. And then we lose focus and suddenly the whole game turns around. And after that, I think we weren't able to bounce back properly, like mentally. But looking back at it, I think we lost more to ourselves than anything. I'm very confident, like if we had to replay every single one of those games, we would probably win 3-0. So
why?
Yeah.
What would you do differently?
Just be stronger mentally, really. Like not let certain things affect us, and also like handle in between serious time a little better, like being more together, like yeah, just some small things that add up, I think.
When you say handle things better, is one of those things if somebody puts a question mark in chat?
I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I don't care that much about this stuff. I don't think any of us really cared. Nobody even mentioned it, actually. It was just funny to see it afterwards. Yeah. You're playing a best of 5 finals. Like sometimes you don't notice these things. At least I don't. So it was just funny and a little random, I guess.
The memes didn't seem to slow them down on the road to June's Animajor. Despite having a tough go in group stage and starting in the lower bracket, EG once again found themselves in a grand final. And once again took second place, this time versus PSG LGD.
I think the funny thing is this major is like kind of the opposite for us compared to Singapore major. We started from the lower bracket and then we had to like make a very long climb to the finals. We were put in a pretty bad position and a lot of the games were like elimination games for us. But mentally we were much tougher this time, which I hope kind of showed. And I'm very proud of my team for that. Like we were able to make like almost an impossible climb, right? So this is not the case of losing to ourselves that much. I think it was LGD played really, really well. They were definitely the best team of the tournament, like no doubt in my mind. We were pretty exhausted at the end. We ended up playing like the finals started like 10 at night. I don't want to be like make excuses, but the conditions were not that good for us to play in. And I think it kind of showed.
We have talked before about the third place curse. We're not in a second place curse now, are we?
Well, if we manage to break from the third place to the second place, it's kind of good, right? Because eventually we might reach first.
Yes.
If the curse is real, maybe the curse will be lifted at the right time.
Maybe it is indeed, and indeed, Evil Geniuses, they ran through the entire lower bracket at the Animajor, and they made it all the way to the grand finals. They're going to have the same path ahead of them here if they want to reach those grand finals, because they find themselves in the lower bracket despite all of my NA colleagues kind of feeling like this was their year. We're going to talk about some of that here. And we've got a fresh panel. We got Fogged, we got Moxie, we got BSJ, and Fogged. I want to hear your opinion first, because Evil Geniuses, they commented this tournament. They got Dr. K with them, and everybody thought, you know what? This feels right for them, and this feels like they can just take it all.
Yeah, I feel like most people have always looked at EG as this team of stability, of getting through laning phase and all that, and always having a good chance in almost any game. Never do they really just get smashed or anything. But now we got here, they got Dr. K, you're mentioning, and actually they seem to be having more trouble than usual. A lot of inconsistency coming out from them that I don't believe most of us expected.
No, a lot of trouble indeed. Let's see what the deal is with Elephant, because they also had some trouble. We're going to hear Casey talk to the captain.
Team Elephant has some of the most seasoned veterans in Dota history, yet they found themselves having to play in the Chinese qualifiers for a shot at TI-10. It was a challenging season just heading into the TI qualifiers as they battled through the lower bracket to face eHome in the grand finals. Even a team of seasoned pros found themselves wondering if they could do it, no one more so than their captain, Somnus.
你或者是你的队友有没有想象过，你们万一不能进 TI 是一个什么样的场景？有担心过吗？
也不能说没想过吧，只能说是做好了那个的心理准备吧，就是觉得是基本上是肯定可以出的，因为不管是我们跟他们的训练，然后还是我们就是平时的状态啊，然后还有这个比赛我们状态慢慢就是越打越好，然后感觉赢了也是理所应当吧。
The team's confidence seemed to be a work in progress all season. After one especially tough 2-month run with a win rate, according to Somnus, of around 20%, he posted this to his Weibo account. Where should the lost elephant go?
然后当时这条微博发的时候，其实就是士气很不振奋。慢慢的赶回来，其实感觉还是就蛮感激我的4个队友，还有我们教练，然后还有我们的管理层吧，他们也一直在努力寻找一些问题嘛，然后最后证明他们也是成功了。你对一件事情你拿出自己的态度了，你才有可能成功。就是一旦你懈怠了，其实你跟别人差距会越来越小，然后别人甚至会超过你这种。所以其实就是我相信，其实现在队里面大家也都懂了吧。
His perspective comes from years of experience that includes playing on the biggest Dota stage in the world. And still, for Somnus, the Aegis has always remained just barely out of reach. A third-place finish at TI-5, fourth at TI-7, closer still in TI-8 with second place, only to lose in those epic grand finals versus OG. And TI-9, once again, third place. It makes the prospect of winning it all that much more meaningful.
最终如果有机会拿下 TI10 的冠军，你会设想一下你大概是一个什么样的现场的反应吗？毕竟这个冠军曾经离你真的很近过。
其实想过很多次呀，这种夺冠之后，因为说实话，其实如果今年能夺冠的话，我们这一路走过来挺坎坷的，从2个 major 打不了，到打那个预选赛，然后还掉到败者组，然后最后出线。然后真的夺冠了的话，肯定是会跟队友抱一抱吧。
You don't need an excuse to get a group hug, by the way. You can just get those. You should be able to get those whenever you want if everybody is, of course, safe. And I think Elephant, being here in this lower bracket, it is quite the surprise. If you look at the pedigree of all the players, Brian, it's mad. Why aren't they doing so hot, though?
I'll honestly highlight Eurus during the laning or during the group stage. I feel like the job of the carry this patch is to be stable, reliable, and just honestly get a ton of farm. Seems like that'd be the case every patch, but I feel like it's even more so this patch. And he was just making uncharacteristic overextensions where he's trying to push their limits, and you'd see him diving tier 3s when they're still tier 2s. So if they can just rein back maybe a little more discipline like the other Chinese teams, I think they're quite solid.
Just get a little bit more control. It seems so simple. Control is going to be the name of the game, I believe, for the entire series. And yes, the entire series is one best of one, and it is time for that one to get on the way. So let's welcome on Evil Geniuses and Elephant. Team Elephant will take the stage here at the International 10, a team of absolute superstars. Every single player having walked this stage before, several times. This is just your average Tuesday for these players. They're just here to play a little Dota game. It's all good. The question is, will all these singular parts, these singular superstars come together to create that one behemoth that we know Elephant can become? We will see if they can. They have gone through the gauntlet of the group stages with a little bit of success here, a little bit of rough patches there, but the most important thing is that they have learned lessons along the way. RTK, of course, there also to lead the charge of the drafting sides of things. They need just one thing, and that is an opponent, a worthy opponent. It's coming right on stage right now. It is Evil Geniuses. Evil Geniuses in what looks like brand new jackets, by the way. Looking good as they walk on this TI-10 main event stage. The last couple of times we saw them on a stage, they were in a grand finals. Both majors, they made it all the way. They start in the lower bracket this time around, but we know they can do it. We know they have it in them. Again, these players on this stage, Evil Geniuses are full of individual superstars. They are veterans in the scene. They are veterans on the TI stage. Nerves? Don't know what that is. I don't think they have them. I think we are going to be watching the best Dota we have watched today. Almost. Maybe. There's a lot of great Dota that's being watched, actually. But this is definitely going to be taking the cake. We saved the best for last, in my opinion. And also, I think we should highlight the coaches of both squads. Of course, we have veteran Bulba on the side of Evil Geniuses, but Moxie, ROTK, another veteran on this stage.
Yeah, it's actually a huge deal for Elephant because a lot of the Chinese fans say, you know, these are excellent players, right? These are all-star players, but the problem that comes up is that they just were saying they don't have a leader. They need a leader. They need someone who's going to be able to take charge, tell them what to do. And who better than ROTK? This is a very famous coach. But also they had a little back and forth about this too, because originally I think they tried to hire ROTK. They didn't have it at the time. Then they finally got around to it after their investor, PDD, not to be confused with PPD, ended up, hiring ROTK, but then they had some instability. They didn't quite make it to the Animajor, and that's when people started comparing ROTK and Shao 8. Which it was a bit rough.
A bit rough indeed. Their DPC season overall for Elephant, it hasn't looked the cleanest. And in case anybody missed some of those games, we have put together a highlight for you of Elephant during the DPC season.
Couple feet all procs with the shard. They've got themselves the totem. They get the kill on Ame. They look over at the rest. Innocent trying to run. Oracle in some trouble.
Where's the Ravage?
He's slowed up, but he still does have Ravage. We're going to set it up. There it is. Ravage comes in. Sun is locked up. Fissure comes out. That's going to be on the 4. Then he get it down. There's the Echo Slam.
It's mostly because I hate power. I hate double damage runes in late game, to be honest. If you have the bottle, just changes everything.
They're coming over to the side. Oh my god, Yang! 5-man Ravage! He was preemptively ready for that one! X-Nova goes down, and now they're gonna use the Sogas. They've got the Supernova. Is this gonna go for the side of Echo? It's not looking likely, but they might be able to get the kill on the Summon, so use the going way to get the kill. Supernova goes off. They look over at Yang. Eurus is gonna join the fight. They got the disarm out of the Medusa. Icarus dive away. FY on this. They're gonna lose the Medusa. Silent into rights on the screen already, and FY leaping forward, but on the other side of the fight, they've got the right clicks coming into Chalice.
Immediately buys a Desert, so he's like, okay, got the sack, so let's get some damage output. He had some Satanic queued up earlier.
RP two instantly morphling obliterated. Somnus as well. He's ripping apart the Mars. They don't have buybacks. They need to try and get out of here, Magma, but they're looking to fight. As Dust, he waveforms in aggressively. He's only got 2 heroes in the backline, and Elephant, they've got the numbers advantage. Another blink forward skewer. Morphlings in no man's land. Drag back, he's down. 120 seconds on the deck. They find Lunar. Another catch from FY's roll and Magma. Oh, what a disastrous fight for them.
They'll buy back on this Brew once again as he's got himself that second primal split. They don't want to allow them to get this Aegis inside the pit. The wall's still down. FY Acorn shot as well as the Bushwhack. They won't be able to get the landing there. But now Time Walk in, trying to get the Aegis. It's still on the deck. It's still on the deck, and it's snatched by Eurus. He finally picks it up. They've got the Cold Embrace that's going to come out on X, and so he'll survive for a little bit longer with the static gun onto Eurus, and now the Plasma Field. One more, two more right clicks. Not going to be enough to get the kill on the Pieces Void just yet, but they look over now at Super, who's within the cogs. They get the kill on X Nova, and it is Yang doing so much with this fight. Moving forward is FY Acorn shot, time dilation out on X, and throwing them up, but Chalice trying to do it again to save himself with this Razor. Chalice, Surge, as well as the Vacuum. Does he have enough? It's not looking likely. He's held on to this Aegis throughout the entire fight. They're going to go in on this. They're already going to look. Terror Wave coming through on a Sylar. He's trying to stand his ground. The Lucent Beam trying to get up, but now he's forced that back. He's got the Cold Embrace on the back line, so they look over at Fade. They've got the kill on the Chalice. It's two heroes that aren't going to be back into the fight. They don't have buyback, though. Use the Refresher. They've got the Hook Shiny, and that lands on a Sylar. The Nimbus is down. The Thunder God's Wrath isn't going to be enough damage into the Jetpack, and now trying to run, but they get the kill on the Super. It's only Super. The buyback's out. Sylar can't survive. He's got buyback. It's still a 3v5. The Nimbuses are down. The Mega Creep secured. The damage is out, but Somnus moves in with the BKB and the Blink forward. Eurus from the side in the trees has the Refresher. There's the Terror Wave fearing them out of this qualifier. It's a full team wipe, and Elephant will qualify and book their ticket to TI.
Yeah, Elephant had to qualify to get it to TI 10. On the other side, you got Evil Geniuses. They made it on points. They were the first team to qualify on points. The #1 in the whole DPC league, Fogged, yet they are here in this lower bracket.
And that's where we have to get back to that bit of inconsistency from EG, where we really just expected powerhouse domination, especially in early games, but I mean, there really has just been so much weakness really from them that I know people, because people are holding them to such high regard.
Yeah.
They really didn't think that, I didn't expect either of these teams to be here, so.
I don't think anybody did. It's actually crazy when you're doing your research, you're like, okay, this is this person, 8th TI, 9th TI, 7th TI, and all those TIs, high ratings too, Moxie. It's not like they came last at every, it's almost all have at least one top 6 finish.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to be honest. I packed an Evil Geniuses shirt because I was like, man, this is looking like, you know, the top 2 is going to be PSG, LGD, and EG. And now I'm like, well, I have it with me. Maybe I'll sleep in it. I don't know.
Oh, maybe they're going to make it all the way. We know they can do that. They've done it before, Brian.
Yeah, I'm still on the same boat as Fogged because the consistency thing. Throughout the entire DPC, they looked amazing at the majors. Obviously, they didn't manage to take first in either of them, but second place in both. They had the highest DPC points at the end of the season. And for instance, against teams like Undying in the NA DPC, they crushed them consistently, and then they end up losing the deciding game to Undying in the 16th game of the group stage to be where they're at right now. So they've definitely dug their own hole, but I still believe. I'm still bleeding blue for this game.
All right, we just saw Ice put on his headset now with Team Aster eliminated. He is the oldest player left at the International 10 at 31, an absolute veteran, and he is also the most recent addition, Moxie, to this Evil Geniuses squad. How do you feel like he's fitted in so far?
I think it really depends on the game some days, but like the guy said, it's a little bit with the inconsistency. Sometimes, you know, Ice can just strap the team to his back, make enough space so that way Artur can get what he needs, and sometimes it's a little hairy, honestly.
For me, I really like him just because I feel like he opens up Crit to do whatever he wants. Because Ice is such a polarizing player that he ends up, any team that he's on, teams are always just going to be like, oh God, we got to watch out for Brood, we got to watch out for X, like so many different things. I feel like that allows Crit to be more open because he's laning with him most of the time, so he ends up being able to move, because also Ice is a bit of an independent player where you can leave him alone on an island. So I think he's meshed really well with this team.
And if we compare that duo, the Ice Crit duo, with a duo for Elephant, which is Yang and FY, Brian, how would you describe that?
I would say that they're a lot about the teamfight combinations. I would say for the duo of EG, it's more about the peskiness of the laning phase, but for Elephant, it's more like we're going to see a lot of these like Mars Phoenixes and such, where they're going to more bank on, I don't really seen them be dominant out of the lanes. They're more so an even or behind, where they're playing more like Vici, but a little bit less refined.
I want to talk about this mid lane. I'm sure that you guys saw a stat coming out on the mid lane. There were in the group stages 9 kills on the 1v1 mid. 6 of those, maybe. Somnus M, sorry. Maybe Somnus M, he was responsible for those kills, Fog. How is this guy doing that?
Like I said, there's just been some very disheartening games. The last one that I actually got the cast for them, it was maybe Somnus versus Nothing to Say mid. He solo kills him mid. He ends the game 15-4-12 with like 30 Bloodstone charges. He's been playing out of his mind, honestly. Like most of these games also I'm watching, I'm like, how did he lose after this performance? And I do want to touch back to what Brian was saying was about consistency from the carry. I've seen a couple weaker performances from Eurus than what we used to see. Because when he was, paparazzi, of course, a couple years ago, the consistency was the name of his game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people at home, the Elephant Squad, sure, it's a new organization, but all these players you know already, and quite a few of them, including the coach RTK, were of course in Vici Gaming that came top 6 last year, where even though everybody's like top 6 is a good placement, they were utterly disappointed. Like that was failure for them. So coming into this TI, they of course have high expectations once again. I wonder though, do you think, Moxie, now that Elephant, they've not been doing too hot in their region, do you feel like them being in this lower bracket is something that they are very disappointed with?
I think obviously, no one really wants to be in the lower bracket.
Sure.
In all honesty. But I also think it's one of those things where, we've seen so much regional Dota. And regional Dota is completely different in some ways, right? Because, China was one of those regions everyone was watching. I remember getting into the shuttle in the morning for DPC, and Fog would get in and be like, they're doing some weird stuff in China again. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Skywrath Mage, blah, blah, it's great. But it's one of those things that once you get to the international stage, you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to adapt quickly, especially if the meta's changing. You don't have that whole week like you do for DPC. And also, some of these teams are used to playing against each other, and you get miniature metas, right? You get, when you've been scrimming against a certain team, they like this particular thing, so we have to watch out for this. But there's just, every team is so different. So it's a little bit, like I said, it's different when you're not in the region and you know each other quite well and you've been playing each other. This is just a whole bigger stage. It's TI.
Yeah, so let's talk improvement, because normally when you see the improvement of these teams, sure, it's throughout the bracket, but most of the improvement is being done on the fly during the group stages, right, Brian? Do you feel like these teams are playing different from the first game to last game of the group stages?
I don't really, out of all the teams in the group stage, these are 2 of the least developed throughout the course of the group stage. Pretty much what I saw at the beginning is what I saw towards the end. Maybe slight tweaks in their adjustment to the meta, but if anything, a team like EG, they kind of fell off towards the end of the group stage. They were looking almost guaranteed to be upper bracket. So coming into this, I'd say momentum certainly not on their side.
Would you say the same thing for Elephant Fog? Because I see you nodding along with what Brian's saying.
I just wouldn't think that momentum's on their side, because the way that they ended the group stage, they had that close game where they were playing versus LGD, then they lost in 16 minutes and 50 seconds afterwards.
Yeah.
Then they got 2-0'd by Quincy. And I know this team, they have super high expectations for each other, because they created this team because the powerhouses of LGD, and they pick up like Yang and everything, and they make this super strong team. This team is very critical when they start losing. And they do tend to get a little vocal and a little angry with each other at times. So we'll see if it ends up dragging up into this one. I can imagine not, because I'm sure ROTK comes in there and he lays down the hammer when they start yelling at each other. And he's like, don't get mad at each other, get mad at me. He probably takes the responsibility. So hoping that they bounce back in this one and we have a really close game.
Well, they call him too. Like, he's actually got they all have nicknames, right?
Yes.
But like the big thing that they call old captain. Like, you don't disappoint the old captain. You don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it, but he does give those pep talks in between series. Really nice, really good. They're about to head into a best of 1. This is needing some speeches right after draft, Brian.
Yeah, it sounds like neither of the 2 teams have momentum, so I would just go with the team that comes back with the best from having the least amount of momentum. That's what I'm. Does that make any sense?
No, it does not.
I tried to give a coherent thought, but basically, what team can turn little momentum into the most results?
Make something out of nothing.
That was
right?
the best one-sentence summary of whatever I just said.
Okay, well then I'm gonna just straight up ask you, who do you favor?
I have to go with EG. I refuse to believe EG is going to get second in both majors, first in the DPC points, and then drop out first bracket. But then first round in the lower bracket. But then I see Elephant. I mean, I swear, like looking at these rosters, it's painful. Like every time I think of one of these teams going home.
I switched my bracket like 40 times last night.
Yeah.
I ended up with Elephant at the end of the day, though.
Ooh.
I did give
That
them
must have been a
bit of
little
the edge.
painful. Just a little.
I don't know. I saw so many, like you said, like losing to Undying and stuff like that. EG losing to teams that I would never expect them to lose versus like in their region. So I don't know. I look at Elephant and I see Somnus. Like these guys are the TI. Like they've been, like you mentioned, like 9 TIs where they've played in this, and they always tend to pop off. These are TI players. FY, these are main stage players. So that's where I, even though EG, of course, they have all that pedigree as well.
Also are main stage players.
But these guys have been in how many finals, how many top 3s, right? For
fair.
Somnus, where he just, wow, Somnus just destroyed the whole game. So that was my slight little edge factor for them that I gave them.
Moxie?
I mean, I was looking at the stats and win rates and things like that, and EG, they're sitting higher, honestly. They're sitting, I believe, at 56 is what I saw, 56.25 is what Leo sent us, but I just feel like they get this momentum underneath them, right? Like Elephant has such all-star players, for sure, but I also feel like when EG is, their back's up against the wall, I feel like a fire gets lit underneath them. And I think, they're working, like you said, with Boba, they're working with Franzi. They've got, a great support staff behind them.
Evil geniuses turn to ban.
Last match you bisa you donate guys.
Welcome to the last draft of the day between Elephant and Evil Geniuses. As we are going to be starting out with this draft in this best of one, I'm going to once again present to you my wonderful panel. It's going to be Aoi 2000 and Effie. I'm going to start with you. Say hello, please. Present yourself to the people.
Hey.
Cool. Hello. I'm going to start with you, Aoi. You are the NA veteran of this panel. I know you're a very big Chinese fan, so what should I be expecting here from EG?
I think EG, they're performing under their standard. So what's going to happen, if you have to play a best of one, these are veteran players. They should understand that comfort comes first.
Yep.
Anytime there's additional pressure, you should try to mitigate the effect of that by picking what you know you can win on and have won on before.
Okay.
So, I don't know, like what, Fly, Teamfight, Crit, Killer, Isis, annoying laner hero, Abed, scaling hero that can make moves, and Arteezy, good laner into map control.
10 seconds remaining.
What can we say for Elephant then? What could we be looking out for Elephant's draft?
So the way that Elephant typically play are they draft 2 really greedy cores in Somnus and Eurus, and they're actually quite dependent on Yang having a good lane, because if he doesn't have a good lane, he doesn't have the resources allocated to him to make the plays to enable the kind of high tempo that they play after the laning phase. And I look at EG and I see a very lane-heavy team. While Elephant doesn't focus on it so much, they do need to be able to come out with enough of a lead or a net worth advantage, or just to go even, so that they can actually play with these greedy cores.
All right, and we already have the starting picks here for Elephant. It's going to be tied in line.
So I like what you were saying about comfort, AOI, because Tidehunter is a Yang specialty hero, and they're very used to playing behind it. They oftentimes collapse on lanes just behind the back of this Tidehunter, while they have one hero farming on the other side of the map. And this hero's been banned out against them quite a few times, so it's nice to see that it was able to slip through for them, and I'm curious to see how they're going to draft around it now.
I'm a bit surprised that no one has gone for Io in this game. I think it hasn't worked that well for both teams, but it's sort of been a very meta hero. I think Elephant, honestly, I think they're drafting a bit scared right now. Like from what I saw in the last skins of group stage, so they'll also be reverting to a comfort thing, as Effie mentioned with the Tidehunter. They played like a game with Io Storm, and I think they won versus, was it Secret? I can't quite remember. And then they picked it like first 2 against LGD, and they lost both games. And then I don't know, it's like weird. Like if you start losing, you start trying to go to the things that you can grasp on to try to win with. And I'm not sure, but we can see for like Arteezy Luna. I think he played the most games on this hero since the Ana Major. He picks it for himself in like pretty much any game where he thinks Luna will work, and it's a decent counter pick to Tidehunter, honestly. The lane is very nice.
I would say so, and I really enjoy the synergy between ET and Luna because Luna is a mixed damage carry. She doesn't just provide physical damage, but also magical, and ET succeeds in amplifying both. Also, it's become very clear that amongst all of the supports picked in group stages, ET is by far the most popular. It seems like his laning is very strong. His area control is very strong with his spirit and his stomp. He can contest choke points and the Roche pit in particular, and he can team fight. So it seems like he ticks a lot of boxes that fit into this TI meta.
The other thing I wanted to add on to that about other Titan is that I think he's a little bit like I call them like net worth removers, because this patch it seems to be very carry focused. So if you have heroes that remove how much net worth, like we see like OG and Secret, they like amp up the carry. If you remove that net worth, it's even more effective. ET, it doesn't matter. Like if you get beside their carry, it will die in 1 or 2 seconds.
And interestingly enough, how you mentioned that it's a very strong patch for the safe lane, I feel like that actually could have influenced Elephant's performance a little bit, just to throw back to the point that I was mentioning, Avo, about how they're very dependent on Yang having a decent enough lane in order to enable the rest of his team.
And can we talk about the Luna as well for a second? Because I actually saw a stat that Luna has the highest win rate currently in the best of ones in these lower brackets. I've actually been playing. What do you think about it?
1-1?
Yeah, no, it hasn't lost a single game.
Didn't it lose to Quincy Crew? Spectre versus Luna? Was that not
sorry,
Luna?
that's my bad. You're totally right. You're totally right.
Okay.
Sorry, I misread that.
I think it was a tweet.
It was the tweet. Yeah, it was
Kyle.
It was a tweet by Kyle.
It was a Kyle curse. I know how he gets you.
I'm so sorry.
I know the exact tweet because I saw that. I'm just like, oh, it's a Kyle tweet, of course.
Right.
You know, I wonder if he does it on purpose.
No, he definitely does.
This is the hazing that I had to go through. I apologize for that.
I think Luna, though, in best of ones, like, even if it didn't win that game, it looked very stable and good. I think that's worth saying because Luna's a hero that pretty much every carry is comfortable with. She has clear timing, she's strong in lane, she farms really fast, and her scaling is good. And I'm telling you, it's like when it comes to best of ones and elimination at TI, you need to feel comfortable because even if your draft is slightly worse, if you feel more comfortable, you will win the game. I think like Brian, BSJ, he was mentioning that to me about Leslaw's Fury, and I'm like, I don't like this pick at all. He's like, I believe in Leslaw's Fury. They have an 86% chance to win because he's a genius, so he can predict the future like that. And I was super unsure. I was really worried for Quincy Crew, but he was completely right. Leslaw's Fury, and it carried that game because it's a comfort pick. He knows how to play with it. His team knows how to play with it, and it just looks good.
And Luna was one of the most popular carries last patch. We all remember the dangers of Medusa and Luna and how horrifying our games were. But she fell out of favor a little bit because she did kind of lose her Lucent Beam on lane. It got nerfed very heavily, and so did she as a result of her like excellent performance, right? But by having AT with her on lane, it's just a very, very strong lane. It rounds it out completely, and you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. ET, like, you get a good spear. All you want is a little bit of poke for your carry, so you get that one extra hit. As long as you can get that one extra hit, a little stun, a little slow, you're going to trade regions super efficiently. It allows you to sort of like hit the 3 and 4 off your carry, and then they can just free farm, last hit, deny, and it just feels really good.
We'll continue the conversation about comfort picks. Can we talk about some of Elephant's comfort picks? Of course, you did mention the Tidehunter here, but is there anything else that you should be expecting here that they really like to play?
I would like to see a Storm Spirit for Somnus, and I think the Ember...
Nice.
There it is. I think the Ember and Invoker and Puckman's made it very clear. This is one of... I don't want to sing his praises too much, but I do think he is one of the best Storm Spirits in this tournament. And he's just very comfortable in it. He can play it even if it is counter-picked, and this is all about comfort. This is all about making sure that you're not going to put yourself in a situation where you haven't been before in terms of Dota gameplay.
And I mean, if Somnus had 6 of the 9 solo kills in the group stage, I feel like you should put him on a hero that can do that. I feel like Storm can do that in a lot of lanes. I was expecting them to go for the Ember, but they chose to ban it to set up for the Storm Spirit themselves, as Effie mentioned. And it's a good hero. It's one of those heroes that can jump on top of Outer and prevent him from getting onto your carry. Tidehunter Storm is actually a classic because you just blink Ravage and then you just blow someone up, and there's nothing you can do about it. They have Finger, they have Storm Jump, they have Ravage. It's very hard to deal with.
And on top of that, they have Lion, right? So it looks like the crux of Elephant's draft right now is to just blow up a target really quickly. And the way that you play with Tidehunter Ravage is you want to blow up a core as fast as you can. And even in this situation, it might be worth it to just remove the AT first. And you just get rid of that aura that we were talking about. So this actually reminds me of a draft that Elephant played in the last OGA Dota pit. And the way that they would play around their Tidehunter was they would actually pick something like a Juggernaut for a Eurus. And they would have him group up early with his healing ward and just push down these towers. So I wonder if they're going to go for something like that here or something more traditional. I really would like to see that kind of high tempo gameplay come back from them.
You did mention the Ember Spirit as the ban for them. They go for the other Spirit for Abed as well. We know that Abed is also a Storm player himself. Do you feel like Void Spirit would fit this comfort pick idea for him?
I mean, Abed, I think for the last like 5 tournaments has played Spirit Heroes, so I think he is comfortable on it. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised. I know this matchup can go both ways, and I think Falk was mentioning to me, or BSJ, someone was mentioning to me that it's been picked in like different orders. Like one team will pick Storm, the other team will pick counter Void Spirit, one team will pick Void Spirit, other team will counter Storm. To me, I've always sort of favored the Storm Spirit side of that matchup. I feel like the lane is more stable for Storm. But Void Spirit can definitely do work. I expect Abed will go for like some 2 nodes, Bound Boots, Yield Scepter, and be able to set up kills on the Storm Spirit. And when you pair that with the Disruptor, you know, you can just yield into the Static Storm. It's a decent counter.
I do agree with that, and I think Void Spirit is exceptionally good at backline jump. Line isn't the tankiest hero. In fact, I'd say he does quite quickly. So Void Spirit can do a very good job of getting rid of him at the start of the fight, and that would make it so that Disruptor can actually save his ult for Storm. And the Silencer pick, perfect protection for what AY just mentioned.
So we've been touching a lot on comfort as well, but I think something else on Best of Ones you kind of want to look forward to as well is the ease of execution, right? You don't want to draft as something too convoluted. Would you say that these drafts are equal in that regard? Or do you see one draft as being harder than the other?
Berarti sisa hero mid kalau nggak
I think that
offline.
gameplay so far looks clearer for EG just because the win condition in Luna is apparent from the beginning, and they did pick 2 very squishy backline supports. But Elephant do have very strong team fight and the ability to snowball on Storm Spirit because he can also jump these backline supports on EG. The difference is it's harder to jump a backline when there's an AoE silence out of Disruptor and the potential of just Void Spirit double Astral stepping in and just getting you.
I mean, the ease of execution for me, it a bit depends on what carry Elephant have gone for. I think EG, they were smart to ban the Juggernaut, as Effie was mentioning. I think that sort of playstyle looked really good for them. I mean, I think I was talking to you about it earlier, Effie, but you were saying how like Elephant, they draft sort of standard, but they sort of play like cycles. Like almost like OG, right? Like they're drafting these slow heroes and then they just go crazy with them, and it leads to these really exciting games. But it's also sort of crazy because you're drafting heroes where if you can execute, I mean, I've always been told like, if you can play fast with slow heroes, then you get the best of both worlds, basically.
Right.
But it's really hard to execute, and so far I agree with Effie that EG's lineup, it seems very streamlined. You know, you're gonna have strong lanes. I think this is going to end up being an Outer Titan 4, but Luna Disruptor is a really strong lane. Very simple to play. Just farm it up. You go around with Abed, you kill some people, Luna farms, he hits tower ships, Roshan, and then you try to win the game off that. Elephants, they have to like find the correct fights. Find some pickoffs with the Storm Jump, with the Global Silence, and then find some good Ravages and Burst combos. It's not like that high execution, but I would agree that EG's maybe a bit easier right now.
And if you want to look at the overall picture of just cooldowns on each team, you have to look at this Tidehunter Ravage and this Global Silence by Silencer. So if Elephant loses their lanes, which hopefully they don't, but if they do, they're going to be in a very scary situation where they can only make plays when their cooldowns are up. And that's going to open the map for EG to just dominate with this ET and this Void Spirit pick.
Stalker is the final pick.
That's a classic anti-Silencer pick. Silencer's the type of hero where if you jump down with the Storm Spirit, he looks really good. But if you're the one getting jumped, I think the defensive global almost never does anything, and he's literally a creep. The other thing I want to mention is, I think this might actually end up becoming a really good ET game. Like if Crit can get to Eggs, Mask of Madness, I can see him just straight up killing Tidehunter alone, and then like the team fights will blow wide open.
It just
langsung
looks like
kaya,
the elephant
BKB
backline is in
udah amat
extreme
dia,
danger.
rada amat dulu
This is
bloodstone.
it's not going to be easy to live through these fights. This last carry pick, okay, I like this one. I like this one because they need something that can frontline for them, because Storm cannot function like that, and Tide can do it, but just not enough, right? You need that extra jump. And typically when Storm goes in on someone, he does need more damage, and they're going to be lacking in damage when Finger is down.
I feel like this also puts a little bit more pressure on EG to get some tempo going, because you don't want Sven to just farm while your Luna's farming. I mean, you both farm fast, but at some point Sven's timings just feel more gold efficient than Luna's are. This also gives you a bit more purpose for Silencer, because you can protect him in lane, and Sven's another jump that you can global off of.
Something good that Elephant have going for them is that they do have strong triangle defense in the Tidehunter and the Silencer. It's just that if Nightstalker can get this jump on Silencer, then the team fights are going to be very easy for EG if they win their lanes.
So is that what we should be looking out for? Is there anything else? Can you go in the reverse draft and give me what?
Storm Spirit has a very difficult game because he's playing against Disruptor and Nightstalker.
Even sorry, go ahead.
All right, no, I was just gonna say that for the draft analysis, but we're gonna hear from EG's coach Bulba, who is standing with Sir Action Slack, so he can answer his questions.
Prepare for battle.
Keep it PMA, keep it DSJ.
The International may be the ultimate goal for Dota 2 teams, but it is also a cemetery filled with the tombs of supposed super teams, and one of them is about to join them. Will it be All-Star Team Elephant, a mix of 2019's Chinese best players that they had, they grouped together, incredible stuff, or will it be Evil Geniuses, a multicultural mix, and back-to-back runners-up at this year's majors? Kyle, this has got to be the most star-studded best of one.
Are you kidding me? Okay, EG, obviously Dota royalty, but don't neglect that FY and Somnus are the two winningest Chinese players of all time. And I don't think it's going too far to say that whichever roster loses this single game, it's the last time we're ever going to see them play. And it's actually kind of nice. We got to pause. We can chill a little bit, take a deep breath, make sure you got your popcorn, because this is the treat you've all stayed up late for. I am so excited. This is... You just don't see this. Spoke with No Tail yesterday. He said unquestionably these are the two best teams in the lower bracket. Now probably number 2 and number 3 since OG has dropped down. But at the time, these were the two best teams in the lower bracket, and they're playing up against each other. EG also is not North America's last hope. But
That is true. They were about to be for a second, but not anymore. Evil Geniuses will have to try and carry on just their pride and brand alone. This is so crazy that the start of this year, there's no way you would look at, especially Elephant, I think. Evil Geniuses, you know, like, okay, maybe hit or miss, but they've been like pretty consistent, hit or miss in group stage, but they've been pretty consistent whenever it comes to playoffs and big tournaments, right? You know, maybe they won't show up day one of groups, but by the end they will have figured themselves up and maybe scored into upper bracket. There was a reason they were back-to-back second place, right?
They're the most consistent, not just team, but like organization in history, right? TI 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. They're in the upper bracket after group stage.
All right, well, our pause is finished up, so let's get into the game here where we've got an early smoke coming out from Evil Geniuses and just might clash with Elephant for an early first blood. They're trying to make use of that Night Stalker nighttime vision while they still have it for 30 seconds.
And they actually would have got that high ground ward if they had any method of checking it, but they'll just block camp for the time being. This is, you know, until about 2 or 3 hours ago, Luna was undefeated in all best of ones at the International.
Yes, and then you tweeted that out and you cursed.
Correct.
A team,
but now there's no voodoo. It's just will this work? Now, in EG, they typically lean on either Luna or Drow Ranger in these clutch scenarios. Oh, Pierce is going to sneak an extra bounty.
Very nice. Takes a lot of damage for it. Goes down to half his health, but worth it.
We could have seen why in that Asta versus Quincy Crew game, because Luna, it gives your team this easy understanding of how we're going to win this game of Dota. You're going to hit a BKB time, you're going to grab Aegis, you're going to push behind your Luna, you're going to be all good. You also have the ET, so tons of damage manipulation available. And Abed on one of his 5 heroes that he's played here at TI, the least versatile player so far, but there's a reason for that, as he is a spirit extraordinaire.
Yeah, and there's only 4 spirits to work from, so he's been a little bit limited in what he can pick, but that has still been incredible performances by him. Not good enough, though, to keep them in the upper bracket. They were so close to being able to get there, but because they matched up against Undying and lost one of those 2 games, they end up here, now in the lower bracket, against Elephant. And may just be saying goodbye to what was probably most people expected, at least top 8 out of them, right? When you get back-to-back finals like that, you're expected to go pretty far at TI. But running into Team Elephant, especially since Elephant seemed to have, in my opinion, stepped up their play every single time they were up against one of the bigger teams in the group stage. So, you know.
Hey, the EG mentality, I remember talking to Fear 4 or 5 years ago. If you're not at least top 3, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Winning this match wouldn't even get either of these teams to their expectations. We're talking about finals. That's what they had their sights set on. In the boot camp, I had people telling me that Elephant was just as good as PSG LGD. They just simply haven't performed that way once the matches started mattering.
And that is real scary to hear if you're an Evil Geniuses fan, because you're probably hoping that Elephant was looking lackluster, like they have done the entire DPC, as we've yet to be able to see them on LAN, and yet they're finally here, and once they do get here, they don't even do that well. They end up in the lower bracket, and now, again, might just have an early departure out of TI. We got our matchups here. Silencer and Sven picked up. Nice Sven against Luna. That's a matchup that is always going to feel pretty good for you, right?
Yeah. It can kind of go both ways. We saw in that previous game how much a Scotty timing can really just handle a Sven. But I think it's going to be a bit more of an elegant sort of game, because both drafts are so cooldown dependent. You know, Silencer Ultimate and Ravage, that's going to win you a team fight. But EG have this huge vision advantage because of their Night Stalker and the Disruptor that can capitalize off of it. So if they get 1 kill, 2 kills, they're always going to get an extra exit because of the range on the glimpse.
Mid lane matchup, Abed versus Somnus. You may also know him as Maybe, if you were a fan of some older Dota 2. This guy has been a consistent, dominant threat from the Chinese scene and has usually been on top tier teams. Top performer in the Chinese scene, right, Kyle?
Indeed. He's the only Chinese player with over $3 million in tournament winnings.
Wow.
Looking to add to his purse, but again, EG just second at both majors. Number 1 in the DPC rankings coming into this tournament. Dragged down to the lower bracket by the now eliminated Team Undying.
What's our last lane? The top lane matchup. We've got the Tidehunter Lion versus Disruptor and Luna. A little quiet so far. We've seen little pokes back and forth, but no team giving up that first blood just yet. FY is going to get a little low here, but he's got plenty of regen still. Looks like Super's going to get caught. Ice. Daytime Night Stalker is going to try and pick up the kill, and the stomp is going to be able to land it. Crit gets the first blood.
That is huge. You heard the panel talking about it. Aoi knows, as him and Fogged love to gush about this support ET that can turn into a monster in the late game if you get the Aghanims, if you get to level 20 with 100% cleave talent. We've seen this in a few games throughout TI lore, and it's crit. Like, this, I think, is the person you got to look to as an EG fan to perform if you're going to win this game, because, you know, arguably the most consistent throughout his time on this roster.
It's also his first time playing in a best-of-1 at the International, so a new experience for him, though he doesn't seem to have lost his touch just yet.
Yeah, pretty tense so far. Both teams just landing. Up top is going to get a little harder for Yang. Now that Luna Disruptor at level 3, you just start to output a bunch more damage, but he does have the Ring of Health. Frees up FY to do a bottle refill in the mid lane. And Abed will receive the same treatment from his Elder Titan.
Let's see the ward, the visions laid down by Evil Geniuses around this mid lane. they really want to be able to see where Somnus is going to, as he picks up his level 6, usually also going to be farming up jungle when he needs to, and just in order to get past that little marker that you need to be able to get all your mobility. There it is. He's got it now. Hasn't really been too much of a threat from Abed, so. FY sneaking in right now, trying to see if maybe they can catch Abed before he gets his level 6. You could see Abed's keeping his distance, but now he gets a little bit too close potentially. Dissimulate before the stun can come out from FY though. And we reset yet again.
And you can see both teams are just playing the same exact style of Dota. As the support comes mid, you know, we saw this in some group stage games. If you can get that gank off when your mid is 6 before the enemies, you can maybe get something done. But they've got this nice ward on EG as well. So
both supports on both teams setting up for the power rune, but it's going to be top lane where Somnus grabs a haste.
Not bad. Not the ideal rune for a storm, but it's much better in your hands than the enemy Void Spirits.
And you can see Luna just hiding right now.
Top tower is under attack.
Trying to play off map as much as possible. RTZ is going to make the read. Okay, it's time to leave. That Storm Spirit's been gone from the mid lane for a little bit too long. And so most of Elephant's going to show up in that top lane, start pressuring that tower. Eurus, though, not as content to give up his tower. Still hanging out here and may pay the price for it. But no, supports show themselves. Eurus seems a little bit undaunted, a little bit unafraid.
They would have needed Abed. You can't make this play with your support duo. Disruptor ET, incredible as gankers and into the later portions of the game, but you just don't do much in terms of rotating as we exit the laning phase.
Well, that means they're going to be able to get an early tower advantage, as with this Siege Wagon push, they take the offlane tower, and their safe lane is still at 100%.
Yep.
So that means our Tidehunter and the rest of Elephant could decide to hold on to their safe lane tower for a lot longer, which would cause our Luna to slow down a little bit compared to the Sven, right?
For sure. You can feel like the pressure these teams are playing under. Incredibly high expectations, and ironically, similar fan bases where EG fans and Elephant fans are both seemingly certain that their team is going to lose. And both teams trying to ensure that that is not the case. You can kind of feel the tension. You can see it in the sides, like both booths. Very, very limited smiles, very serious. I think that Bulbo gave Slacks less information that he gave me, and he refused to even sit at my table for breakfast. He was banned from sharing any strategies.
Been quite the lockbox Bulbo has, when normally he's been more than willing to share his thoughts on Dota as it's happening. Somnus, double zip away, back to the tower, completely out of mana, but safe. Yet to give up a big kill that Evil Geniuses have routinely been rotating for.
And I gotta say, like, the warding from EG, they have 4 up on the map, but they're relatively defensive when you consider, like, these wards in enemy jungle are great if you can take this tier 1. It looks like that's what they're gonna do now. Yeah, pop Darkness.
They're going to spot FY. FY was just trying to soak some experience in this bottom lane. The Tidehunter's going to show up here, but they're going to glimpse him back. No more Yang means FY has no more protector. And Evil Geniuses, the Wolves, surround him, bring down Captain Elephant FY. Give a second kill to Evil Geniuses.
Really nice job there from Fly. One of the cool things about Disruptor, you always can create these numbers disadvantages, especially around towers. Either glimpsing someone into your own team or pushing someone out of a team fight. You got to be really careful moving forwards as Yang. Because much like a Timbersaw, EG is going to look to play around him, especially when Ravage is off cooldown.
Yeah.
So now you know he's stuck top for 80 seconds.
So in that case, I'm kind of expecting them to try and pressure mid a little bit. Tidehunter instead has planted himself in the dire jungle, taking away some potential farm from RTZ's Luna.
Is under attack.
I mean, both carries, you know, unlike that previous best of one where, you know, Sven is going to outfarm a Spectre when left to its own devices. Luna Sven is a much more even matchup. So both carries are going to feel good about this.
I mean, looking at that gigantic Ancient stack, it may be a slight net worth lead for Evil Geniuses right now, but I feel like there's more potential gold on the map for Elephant. Ice, Ice, Ice yet to be able to take this bottom tower, and FY is going to try and sit here again. The smoke rotation is going to come out. They're going to go for Ice first. And Fly, okay, they're going to turn around, go back for him. They say that's the easier kill. The Night Stalker's a little bit too fast for us.
Yeah. So far, this is just the mid matchup, right? So maybe has rotated. He's acquired objectives. He's helped defend his tier 1 safe lane. Abed's just been hard farming, so he's got that 500 net worth advantage. Just a difference in style.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I feel like the Abed that we've watched last year and the year before that has been very aggressive in being a space creator for the team. Why do you think they're taking more of a step back here?
Well, first off, they keep losing the coin flip. They don't get a power rune.
True.
You know, Void Spirit, you want a power rune. He's going to smoke up now with the bottle refill, but he also really wants to finish the Yules because it's so effective. You know, Silencer has his ultimate prepared. If you have no save for yourself as this Void Spirit, you're liable to just get killed immediately. Also, Sven just took that Ancient Stack, which is why he's now top net worth.
Yep. And that's why the net worth swings over to Elephant as well.
They want to make this play. They have ult on Disruptor, but keep in mind, Super, he's got the cancel.
Turn around for the silence, comes out first from Fly. A great reaction from him, but FY does manage to get out pretty quickly, and they're turning around with the silence currently placed onto this Void Spirit. They might be able to get the kill, but he makes a jump away. Glimpse on out, one hit is left. Ice, sure to get it before the Impale can come back up, and Somnus is a little low on mana, but Super, he's low on health, and that's an easier kill to pick up. Surely the silence laid out. Somnus, he has a little bit to be able to work with here, and a tier 2 to protect him, so Ice will not pursue a double kill for Evil Geniuses.
Oh, huge ulti there from Fly. Oh my, that is a disaster if he does not get that off first. Canceled the ult of Super mid animation, because his Void Spirit just dies. Like, they're making this move, and Abed is 100 gold from the completed Yule Scepter. Like, that is legit disaster if he does not find the cancel. But Euro, so he's using the space, but man, this is such a tense game. Crit going for stop mid, gets both.
But Elephant, seeing no heroes respond to that stomp, are like, okay, we're just going to hit the tower here. God's strength, they're still going to keep going. The glyph does not scare them back. They really want this objective. Evil Geniuses is here now, but only a few of them. Certainly not enough to threaten Eurus, who is so big right now. 6,300 net worth on him.
Man. Arteezy went for the fast farming build. 144, max glaives, max blessing.
Soon going to get the 10 talent as well.
Yeah. Now both teams kind of just trading blow for blow. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, Fly called this that it was going to be a battle to the death with Elephant, and it seems like a little bit more of a farming battle than I anticipated.
Well, both teams have these drafts where, you know, one big mistake, you probably just straight up lost the game. E.g., you're fearing that Ravage Silence combo. Elephant, you've got to be concerned, especially that earlier nighttime phase, because you know that Ice will always have that vision advantage.
Yeah. Looks like a smoke up from Evil Geniuses. 3 of them moving across the map into the enemy triangle here. Even if there's nobody home, they can still get some good vision and lay a trap for when Elephant return.
It's a really good timing, though. They do it as the creeps would respawn. You might find a Sven.
Spots him, but there is already a rotation coming from Super just to back up his carry.
This is wise from EG. You can't take fights into enemy unknowns because you are always at risk of catching. It's a 4.5 second global silence, so there's just no way you're making that play if Elephants have time to respond.
Yeah, pretty much if Elephant gets their 2 big team fight spells off, right? Ravage and Global Silence, you can't really win that fight. So EG has to be very careful with who they go on and when they go on them. Second nighttime is coming up, though, and that's usually when Night Stalkers really come online. It's usually where they start getting a lot more active, where the first one is usually just about taking that tower and farming.
And Abed finally finds himself a power rune, the ideal one, Arcane.
Ooh, that's nice.
But I'm still not certain. EG, they want BKBs, and they want nighttime. 45 seconds, maybe they start moving.
Ooh, that was spotted. Arteezy, they instantly ping that. Super was trying to sneak a little ward in there. They could play around. Ice. Gonna go for the darkness. Nighttime is coming in soon as well, so this is a point of serious strength for Evil Geniuses, and they're gonna utilize that strength and start moving in on Elephant's territory.
Yeah, they want to collapse on mid tower now. You've got nighttime, darkness still for a few more seconds, and that arcane on Abed. So you are about as strong as you get on EG. If they can just find vision, a glimpse ult is ready.
They've got the superior vision coming out from this Night Stalker, spotting some heroes. They see Somnus, not able to get the silence up fast enough. Fly does manage to get up the static storm on the Tidehunter, which is a big hit with the Earth Splitter as well, but no follow-up. Evil Geniuses is damn scared. They don't want to commit here, and it's going to leave Ice totally behind here. He gets thrashed. Abed is going to have to make a jump away, but he should be fine. They do get the mid tower as recompense for losing Ice, but he doesn't really feel that good, Kyle.
No. You can see the power, like you trade ult for silence, but you might have just found Yang. Oh, Ravage!
Ravage is going to be able to down etching 3. The Storm Spirit is going to jump to Abed and kill him with the Finger of Death. They lose their Tidehunter, but they burn out for Abed's Void Spirit.
Ooh. Both teams.
Anything. Elephant's kind of like, ooh, was that good? Because, yeah, we traded for 1, but now the Ravage is down.
Yeah. Both teams, you know, they're always getting something. You trade Ice for mid tower, then you trade Abed for the enemy offlaner. As you said, you get Ancients now. You can take some of Sven's map from him, and it's still nighttime and no Ravage. EG have total control at the moment.
You can see they're just holding areas of the map that Sven wants to be farming right now, and it's why Evil Geniuses have maintained this net to be even or ahead slightly. Ice may be a little bit too far forward. Get baited into going for that juicy range creep, though, which Elephant certainly would have executed a gank on him if he had.
Yeah, the big timing for both teams, as always in Dota, is going to be the BKBs. Our team 1,300 gold away. Ice. A couple of pieces, but until you acquire those items, here. They have the ward. He can glimpse.
Can get a static storm, glimpse combination. They do manage to pull him back, and that is it. Somnus is dead. And Elephant really hoping time is coming soon. It's still another 3 minutes away, but Evil Geniuses, you can see constantly the term AUI. I really love this term, map oppression. Geniuses, they don't necessarily are trying to fight you all the time, but they are trying to hold areas of the map and make you feel uncomfortable, just squeeze you out.
Yeah, they're gonna get one countered, but like they've just had so much aggressive vision, and there's no defensive wards on the side of Elephant, so they're just playing blind. And as you said, it's nighttime.
But if Elephant can weather this nighttime, a new dawn arises, and they're gonna be feeling pretty strong with that BKB Sven.
Because it's not just the NS, right? You also have the Lunar Blessing on the Luna, so all of VG is just playing with this insane night vision. You can't actually take a good fight as Elephant.
Super runs right into that. They can get this global silence right away. Evil Geniuses will maintain the advantage, but he does have buyback and stop this. He's going to be able to TP in. The chain starts raining in. Abed is going to die here unless the global silence, well, he's used to ensure there is no escape.
That's a lot used, though. I think you're fine with that. If you're EG, that was a buyback every ultimate. They have Ravage, but still Sven BKB revealed as well.
They do a Blink Dagger now.
And look at Storm
on the Tidehunter. Oh, they with the silence.
Arteezy's there.
Point blank. No. Arteezy with the double damage as well. Oh, I may have just TP'd into a situation where BKB activated by Arteezy. Turns around, looks at Yang, pops at Eclipse. They've also got the static door on the super as well. Yang so close to death. They need another nuke. Ice is coming, but the silence, it hit him first. Ice keeps on gliding forward. Arteezy is left behind as Eurus managed to kill him underneath the tier 2 Evil Geniuses. They get ahead of themselves and they trip over their own damn feet.
Oh my god, Arteezy was like 7 mana short of the beam that would have finished off the Tidehunter. Somehow, Eurus, he's been playing Aghanim's Labyrinth or something because he juked crit, stomp, and spirit somehow. And that's what allowed him to actually kill off Arteezy. I don't even know if he even recognized it was happening, but he was just in between them. That is a huge kill.
One more minute of nighttime. They still have Blink Dagger Ravage. They're going to be going for a Blink Dagger. Oh no, Somnus. Somnus is having a rough one. Ice is making his life a living nightmare.
He has showed up today. He'll have his BKB soon. Hang on, Eurus. Not going to do anything for it.
Even though they don't have his lane vision to reveal this, it seems like just good bat senses, good aggressive vision, maybe on the other side of the map that's giving them the idea, but he keeps on backing away as soon as Elephant show up to try and kill him.
Yeah, it's a tough game for Elephant to play during nighttime. It's all going to shift as the sun rises. There's no darkness for Ice for some time, but Hero, those of you who may just be tuned in as long-time fan, hang on. Just a little power Runeals.
Yeah, and trying to catch somebody.
Yeah.
Evil Geniuses is not out of position though. So they're gonna grab a regen rune.
Like the strategies for both teams are simple to understand, right? You've got Elephant, their big ultis and their Sven BKB to win a fight. E.g., you need vision advantage. You're aware, if you 5-on-5 run at each other, you're not stronger. You have to keep doing what you are doing. Force skirmishes, find offs, and always try to battle at nighttime.
And with Elephants, all these blink daggers coming in, I know they're still going one on the Sven. They now have one on FY. So their initiation is so much better than it was 5 minutes ago. And added on top of that, it's daytime, so Elephant is going to go for a smoke. All they need is to run into the right hero here. Abed would be really good for them. Blink Hex Impale with Eurus's damage would probably kill Void Spirit before he gets anything off.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But if they're gonna go for it, it's gonna have to be underneath the tier 2 tower. The stun coming in, but the Rabbits, they throw everything at Abed, and it does get the kill. But now they're gonna be able to pull back Eurus. He doesn't pop the BKB. But the Earth Splitter's coming in. He's going to pop it now in order to get away from the stomp. He realizes he's a little bit too low. He'll just keep out. Nothing on the side of Evil Geniuses is there to be able to stop him.
Top tower is under attack.
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure Abed is using the ideal voice line because he's just effectively got every spell for just him. Silence, Ravage, BKB, and God Strength.
Yeah, an Elephant.
And now they have Darkness. Like,
yeah. I'm anticipating Elephant to just be holding hands on high ground somewhere. Once Abed is back up, I feel like Evil Geniuses is very, very strong. They don't have to worry about much with Global Silence, Ravage, Anger, God Strength, all on cooldown. There's the Blink Dagger of the Sven, though. If they don't respect this initiation from Elephant, they may find that their smoke and their advantage does not work out to them. Evil Geniuses just charging forward, looking for anybody. If they can see somebody close enough, they'll get the glimpse pick off.
And it feels like Elephant, they have to play this way because if you're playing against Disruptor, you're really never safe. And if you know the enemies are coming for you, you can't just be in a safe position. You've got to like out of like behind towers, and they may be forced to just give up this Roche.
Yeah, Evil Genius is saying, okay, fine, you want to play underneath your tier 2s, we're going to do Roshan. We're going to force an objective. And Elephant concedes it. They're probably even happy to see the darkness pop for that. Ice just using it for vision to make sure there is, ensuring they get the Aegis. Elephant, though, had no intention while they had these big cooldowns still waiting for them.
And remember, like, we have the benefit of no fog of war. It is a very different game that Elephant are playing right now.
Yeah, it is very, very dark now. TP out. They're going to spot him just at the end.
Yep, but it's all about the timings. Darkness is fading, so what is it time to do? Elephant, you got your spells up in like 15 seconds. Maybe it's time for you to smoke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's time for EG to retreat across the river.
Yeah, I think you have to give a little bit of leeway here. If they don't get caught right now, they could still have, at minute 25, they could have Darkness and still a good bit of Aegis left.
Yep.
But that just depends on them not getting caught by this smoke rotation from Elephant. They're going to go into the triangle. We'll see if Evil Geniuses retreat fast enough. They do.
Let's get a little further back, guys.
The dance continues, Kyle. Both of these teams are reading these smokes and dodging them.
Yeah, this is the tension of the one, though. Like, none of these plays are, like, incredibly smooth. Definitely getting the upper hand as they claim the Aegis. But, of course, they're going to smoke out. And then, of course, Elephant's going to smoke out. Like, none of these are really set up. They're just the whole kind of, like, do something smokes. Like, hey, it's your time. Let's get something. But it'll really down to who has that advantageous ward, who gets the 10 seconds a head start to make their play.
Crit has an Aghanim Scepter.
Whoa.
Ooh. Okay, phase Aghanim Scepter.
That is
Crit
very
saying
nasty.
that this stance is to keep going a number of rounds. And he's going to try and more of a late game force. They're going to find the initiation. The long jump in. Instantly Fly is dead, but the Eclipse doing a lot of damage to Eurus as he goes out. Finally, the BKB is popped. He managed to get the Ravage, but Eurus taking too much. A crit comes in, finishes him off. Ice turns around. They're going to be able to get some this as well. Evil Geniuses. Again, they may have lost the initial opening of the team fight, but they're always there in numbers to be able to reinforce and run over Elephant.
This beautiful BKB usage from Arteezy. The Ravage was too early, and he just keeps on clicking the enemy's spin. And now you've used all spells, EG, still have Aegis.
I feel like it's go time. Evil Geniuses can take so many objectives during this small window where they got 2 minutes of Aegis time.
And crit is a real problem with the Aghanims. Like, he gets a free BKB, which is so value in this game when he brings the Spirit onto him. That's a tier 2. That's going to be Outpost. I'm going to watch this back. Yeah, they just kind of all in, but it's for Fly. Like, BKB on Somnus, all his mana now gone. And Eurus, he didn't BKB, so he got like 80% of HP just from the magical burst. And Arteezy just says, okay, I'll click you down while I'm BKB'd, and you're running away from me. So just straight, just overcommit. Oh my God, look at his Fly. I've played with him almost 2 years. That is pretty excited.
Yeah, you don't see Fly a bit more stoic, but he is getting loud here as he is amped up, as Evil Geniuses are getting more and more of a lead here, and just when they needed to. This is the next 5 minutes. They're going to feel really strong. Is there a point though? Elephant, they still have this big late game. They still have Sven matched up against the Luna. The Super, he's going to die next. A simple pick off for Ice. Not much to say.
Hang on. They might find Yang as well.
Yep, they got the glimpse.
The vision.
The vision advantage. Night Stalker Disruptor. It's a beautiful combination that a Tidehunter can do nothing about. Eurus is actually coming in to try and help out Yang. He's really low, but Ice, as long as he keeps vision, he's going to pop the BKB and finish him off. Eurus is going to force BKB TP out. Did not manage to save his offlaner, and now his BKB is on cooldown.
Well, man, EG, they're feeling themselves now. Like, definitely a rough group stage for them. Their first time ever starting in the lower bracket. But if you can just get the one win, right? Elephant, you're going to need something special here. You're playing without vision. That's the big issue. So EG, they always have that first mover's advantage. They need to set something up in advance. You need like a 10, 3-man Ravage. Eurus there immediately to find the damage. That's easier said than done.
It's a bit poetic that Evil Jeeps is finding some this year. The BKB is going to be used. Another cooldown forced on Elephant.
Oh, Eurus, he has no BKB.
Uh-oh. He's going to be found. They know he doesn't have BKB. It's time to a T for Evil Geniuses. They use all their magic damage to kill the carry of Elephant.
Oh, they are feeling themselves. This has always been a concept EG's been using since the PPD days. Just find vision. You have so many tools. The nighttime aura from the Luna, your Night Stalker, even your ET Spirit.
Yeah, this specific combination was run a lot by the Vici Gaming of old. Night Stalker Disruptor. Remember, always play this combination. They would use the superior vision of the Night Stalker with the Disruptor. Say, we're strong enough to fight, and we can keep on finding pickoffs to be able to get FY all the way inside of his own base. Nowhere seems to be safe for some of these heroes for Elephant. There is strength in numbers, and they're about to get those back in 30 seconds. Another minute for daytime as well.
Yeah. I've heard some criticisms of the Silencer hero, and you kind of see why, where if you don't have the ability to take team fights, you're just an R button that if you use, now your hero's effect in a team fight disappears, so you've got to be really cautious with it. But
look at him, they just don't stop. Again, Somnus is going to be forced to use his BKB. He does have teleports, a long zip, and he's out. But you could see Evil Geniuses, they just keep on going back in top lane to bottom, sweeping across the map. And it's getting smaller and smaller for Elephant, more and more claustrophobic, as they don't have any space to stretch their legs. You can see Eurus,
he's just breaking smokes. He's so confident. He's got BKB Butterfly. He's just daring them. He says, hey guys, come over.
And if anything, he might just be able to catch both supports. A 4-step foul. Will that save Super? No, it did not. But the glimpse, he pops the global. But does Elephant fight this one? They're going to try for the chains. Going out to RTZ. They're going to be able to they've got me dead. Finger of death on out. Yura still has the damage going with the clutch strength, but they're running a little bit low now. Without RTZ, Evil Geniuses can still beat some butt there. It's going to be a big team wipe for Evil Geniuses and straight to the high ground. Elephant all in on the carry, but the other 4 of Evil Geniuses are still very, very farmed.
RTZ hasn't streamed in a while, but I'm sure we can all imagine his reaction to that one as his team just wipes in. It's, I think, tied.
Yang desperate to be able to keep back. Oh, nice spin from Sun. This does a lot of damage. Glimmer came to Nobar to be able to survive here, but doesn't have much mana. This is an opportunity for Elephant. It's going to cost them so much. They can get Abed as well. I think they'll be pretty happy with it. Dissimulate. Yule's available as well. He's got 1 step to be able to jump. 4 step forward, but he gets out.
That is huge. Your supports for 2 buybacks on enemy cores. You are very happy with that as EG.
16,000 net worth lead for Evil Geniuses now.
Yeah.
Back-to-back major runners-up are not going to go down easy, it seems, and they just came at Elephant. Like that second night time, they just took over the game, and I feel like they haven't given Elephant any space to work with ever since.
Yep. And it's tough. You're going to watch. Just pop the BKB, sure. RTZ could have potentially saved it, but it doesn't matter. You're going to pick up the supports. Super barely gets the ult off in time, which buys his squad a little bit of space. But you're going to see Eurus, he went for the attack speed instead of the Warcry talent. So he BKBs. Yeah, he kills enemy carry. But you're going to watch Crit just run in. He's removing all of his armor. So all, bashes Yang. That's a 0 armor Sven. Ooh. You don't need a carry anymore. Crit is your carry.
He really is. You see RTZ giving him a tip, passing over the mantle to Crit. They got some pretty good damage on that tier 3, but obviously they did lose a few heroes off the buybacks.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, I mean, Ice is also balling out. Like he's catching the Sven in net worth. He's got the full talents for nighttime damage, in addition to a blink on a basher.
Yep.
And you can see, yes, like Somnus, he really needed Abed. Nice glimmer from Fly, selfless, puts it on his ally instead of himself.
Smoke up from Evil Geniuses. They're getting in there. They're going straight to the triangle, trying to catch Somnus, trying to catch Yang. They do still have a glimpse somewhere, but they jumped away a little bit too quickly. Looks like they'll get Super. That'll be good enough for EG. Roshan, potential spawn time is anytime right now. It's actually going to be in another minute, but Evil Geniuses, what they're mostly doing is asserting control over this Roshan pit area. This Aegis is the high ground Aegis.
Oh, yeah.
So they really want that in Elephant. They can't afford to give it to them.
Yeah, but this is the Fly MO. You've got this just crushing advantage. Just don't lose it. Camp a triangle, cut 2 waves, wait for the objective or the item that allows you to force high ground.
Yeah.
This is how to close. And EG certainly in the position they have. No Dark Ascension, and they have 2 minutes till night. This might be the last dance for Elephant as they move out smoked. They have to make something happen here.
Radiant are scanning.
A herd moving across. If they try and go up this triangle just point blank like this, it's not going to go well for them. Their smoke is going to break on the low ground. But they're tempted to anyway. They can't afford to give up this Aegis. They're going to go forward. Yang going to be the target of the Static Storm. They all in on him, and he does not have buyback. Evil Geniuses now knowing no Ravage to worry about. See if there's anybody else. There's not. Okay, back to controlling Roshan. It's going to be up right now.
This is the EG we expected to see at this tournament. Strong lanes, good rotations, find yourself with solid late game and a heavy lead. Just win the game. Feels like Elephant, you know, they don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, you know that this is the window to make something happen, but EG are legitimately just standing on the high ground under a ward, just daring you to come and throw a punch. Now baiting the Roche, they have some time.
Haste! Fly potentially gonna die here. Nice Ether Remnant, but Abed doesn't want to commit for it. They're actually gonna do the Roche up in. Oh, they might just be able to do this! Luna's low, get the Aegis, get the Aegis, they've got it! They managed to pick it up on Eurus, now they turn and fight, but RTZ's a little bit too big. A second life on the Sven, but without the God Strength, he may just die back to back.
campus now. He takes down Eurus. He bops Super in the head. And once again, a team wipe for Elephant. They went for the initiation they could, right, Kyle? It looked okay at the start, but in the end, Evil Geniuses were just too far.
Yeah. It's great itemization. Way to keep a cool head from Arteezy. Has the butterfly to reduce a bit of the damage, but just pops Titanic and right-clicked. He knows, like, as soon as Sven dies with, it doesn't matter if he got Aegis, there's no God Strength. Everybody, I mean, again, you got the supports, but they just buy back. You don't have that luxury on Elephant.
After being able to get second place at both the majors, ending up in the lower bracket, it's possible that it could bring down another team. Mentally speaking, they might just be a little bit jaded. But Evil Geniuses, they said that they had faith in each other. They know they're a strong team. They believe in each other. They think that they're going to be able to make that long lower bracket run. And they're so close to being able to get out of the best of ones, which is such a relief for so many teams. They just have to win one more fight against Elephant.
Yep, 2 racks. No Aegis, perhaps unnecessary. Arteezy, he's also been holding on to the Elven Tunic, so he's sitting at 46% evasion, which is incredibly strong, not just against Sven, but Storm. One more push.
How do they do this, Elephant? I mean, they seemingly got a really good opening last team fight around the Roshan pit. I don't know how they managed to do this now. They're going to have to play a very long team fight, one where they back up into their fountain, play off of that fountain regen time and time again with the Storm Spirit. But Evil Geniuses patiently waiting for somebody to be able to show. They see Eurus, a great opportunity to be able to kill the carry. He's out, but does have buyback. The problem being for Eurus, he doesn't want to use that buyback because he knows that it will just absolutely cripple his economy if Evil Geniuses just back up and let him be.
I wish we could be in the booth right now. I can almost guarantee you it's Fly playing his team like an orchestra. Just don't throw this game. Wait for the BKBs. You can see them just baiting the buyback.
Giving respect to Elephant, knowing that the buyback may come. Elephant has to get the initiation before the buyback goes. There goes the zip. Here comes the buyback. Here comes the teleport. They're going for the Luna. Here's the damage. Glimmer came for a second. They need more damage. He's low, but they can't quite kill him until Somnus finishes him off. But Eurus, once again, they kill the carry. But look at the rest of Evil Geniuses. They're so damn strong. He may be able to kill a Luna, but he can't deal with the Elder Titan of Crit. He cannot fight the monster that is Ice's Night Stalker. And now, once again, the rest of the team will go for Megas. Another 2 buybacks coming out of Elephant. Evil Geniuses, a pause, a moment, but they think to themselves they can still take this. Finish off the melee, get Megas. Somnus zipping it again, and back. Has to play these mind games, has to desperately hope that Evil Geniuses will get a little bit eager to jump in. They finish off the Megas first. Now they start going for the kills. Lion's going to be first. Here comes Somnus grabbing out to the Night Stalker, managed to get a 2-man Ravage. Ice. They have to get kills here. If everybody of Evil Geniuses backs up after getting Megas, it just feels like there's going to be no hope for Elephant. 60 seconds on 3 heroes now. Somnus, maybe. He's going to have to do it pretty much alone, zipping back and forth.
Oh, this is tough. I think the administrator of WhenDidEGThrowLast.com will not have any work to do tonight. This one seems pretty secured, but perhaps wait a little bit, let Arteezy get some glory, maybe deal some building damage.
Luna's always so powerful when you start hitting those tier 4s with the bouncing glaives. And it makes sense in some ways for them just to chill out, hold here until the rest of Elephant are reviving. That's going to be in 10 seconds for Eurus.
Wait for me, guys.
Arteezy's on his way. AC picked up for the Night Stalker and a Scythe. Being put to work here to be able to kill. Maybe do they have the damage? They easily do. Abed, look at him just shrugging off a Sven with BKB, God Strength. Ice is challenging you to a duel right now. The Earth Splitter finished them off. Crit is here to finish it. Godlike for Abed, and there it is. GG is called. Elephant, a disappointing
frustrating year to say the least, but Evil Geniuses, a moment of relief as they manage to survive through the best of ones.
Oh, you can see the relief on their faces. Joy might come later, but for now.
See you ntar sore jam 2 ya guys. Kecuali gini. Plus 41.
Thank you very much indeed, Cap and Kyle, and that was a very dominant, strong ending there for Evil Geniuses over Elephant. The game, though, started out fairly even-fogged.
Yeah, I'd say Elephant actually came out ahead of the lanes very slightly, but things really accelerated super quick. Ice exploded. I feel like they played so well around the Night Stalker, played so well around the Vision. Looked at the map several times in the first, like, I think.
Ada PSG LGD lawan T1, ada VP versus VG. Terus nanti dilanjut, nggak tahu dilanjutnya dari mana tadi. Upper bracketnya, upper bracketnya lanjut dari sini. Spirit lawan Fanatic, OG lawan Kichi. Oke guys, see you nanti jam 2. Bye bye.